let's talk about resources. There are things you're going to need if you really want to get into Bible study, and that's a good Bible. I use the David Jeremiah Study Bible, but there are a lot of good books out of the Bibles out there. If you're not sure which version you need, then you need to download the Bible app. It's free, and I have one on every tablet, phone, anything I have. That way I can take it with me. I travel a lot, and so I can read the Bible anytime on the plane without carrying a big heavy book. So the Bible app, but they have different versions on there, and if you're not sure which version you want or which is right for you, download the Bible app, and it has a place where you can change the versions. Now, the most common versions are the New King James Version, the King James Version, the NIV, which is the New International Version, or the ESV, Eastern Standard Version. And there are a few more out there. Excuse me. Okay, then the next thing you're going to need a notebook. I have tons of notebooks. I make notes on everything. I'm going to start giving you a lot of symbolic words. The first one we just studied in Genesis 3 is serpent. The serpent meant Satan, and we're talking more about that. I'm going to get more into, I'm going to have a special course on just symbolism. So you really need to keep a notebook, take notes on anything you learn, because you're going to use your notes, believe me. Next thing I recommend is a map of Israel. I use this map for everything. If I read in the Bible and I come across a name I don't know, I'll look it up on Google to kind of get an idea where it's at, and then look it up on my map. For instance, Hebron. Hebron is in the New Testament, Old Testament. It starts in Genesis. You're going to see it when Joshua goes into the Promised Land. You're going to see it throughout. King David was in Hebron to begin with for 7 years, and then he moved to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is smack dab almost in the middle of Israel. Mount Hermon is North Israel, and that's where the Jordan River starts. That's beautiful up there. It's also in the Golan Heights. So get you a map, a good map, and start looking. When you see the name of a city that you don't recognize, you want to know where it's at, get you a map. That's how I started. I started looking up names of people that I didn't understand, and I started looking up places on the maps that I didn't understand. And pretty soon it's going to start clicking. It's going to get fun. It's going to start clicking, and you're going to want more and more and more. And I can't hardly wait to see that. Okay, and then you're going to need a concordance. Concordance you also download. I have the book and I have an app. The app is much easier to use. You just click on it. But a concordance tells you where else that same verse or that same word is found in other places of the Bible. And the reason you need to know this is because if you want to see, you want to prove a piece of scripture to be true, if you pull that word up in the concordance, you'll see the other places it's in the Bible, and usually it'll say, this is this. And you can back up scripture by scripture, and that's how I study the Bible, is I back up scripture, by proof, by the truth, and I love it, I do. So that's not much, just a map, concordance, the Bible, and a notebook, and we can get started. And I hope and pray that you get as much out of this as much as I'm loving giving it to you. Share the word, share the gospel.